In this video, I will discuss Angular @for loop introduced in Angular 17. First of all, let us see the syntax of this for loop. To use @for loop, use like this @for, then you need an array, suppose item array, and then write a variable, suppose item of that array, and then colon, and then track, and you can write this item here. So this is the track expression, and then this item can be displayed here in our HTML template. So this is the syntax to use @for. Let's see in detail. I have an item array. The contents are 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, and I am iterating it. The view will be created and added to the DOM. So look at here. This is our item array, and when it will iterate, each item will be assigned to the item, and you have to use track function. I will discuss why the track function is needed, track expression is needed. So you can use this variable here. In this way, this will print all the elements of the array. In our item there are 4 elements, 10, 20, 30, 40. So let's see, it's 10, 20, 30, 40. It's iterating. Now understand about the track. Basically, for every loop, this view is created and added to the DOM, and there should be an ID to recognize that, and Angular uses this key to recognize that view in the DOM. So we need to use here whatever that is unique. The identity should be unique. If that identity is not unique, we will get the warning. Item is unique because this is 10, 20, 30, 40. So item is unique. So I'm using track item. So the view will be created here, and the view will be identified by this one. First view will be identified by 20. Second view will be identified by, first will be identified by 10, and second will be 20. Third will be 30, in this way. So that we have to use an identity that should be unique. We have, in this way we have to use our track expression. Suppose what happens if there is a duplicate. Look at this. Now we will get the warning. Look at here. The product track expression resulted in duplicate keys for a given collection. Okay. So we have to use a unique identity. If we don't have uh, anything to assign as a unique identity, we can use index. To get index, we can use $index. Now items are duplicate, so I'm using track $index. Now we can see that there is no error, no warning. Okay. Suppose if this is string, In the same way we can do it. Item of item array, track, index. If it is not duplicate, then you can use the item 2. Let's see another example. I have an array of objects. Look at this. The first object is with id 1, name AA. Another object is id 2, name BB. Another object is id 3, name A. We can track here id because id is unique every time. Okay. So to iterate this one, we can track by id. Let's see this. Item of obj array and then track item dot id and print here item dot id and item dot name. Okay, item id dash item name. We are getting this result. So we can track here item dot id. Okay. Now, if you want to get the index, we can get the index to use like this. Let id index ind. These are implicit objects. To get odd value, whether the row is odd or not, use $odd. To check even, $even. To check first row, whether this is first row or not, $first. Whether this is last row or not, use $last. And to know the complete number of array size, just use the $count. We will see this. Let ind, this is for index, $index. This will give the index. Let's print it. See here, 0, 1, 2, this is index. We are getting the index. Now, if you want to check whether this is the first row or not, will be the boolean give comma f is equal to $first. Print it. F. This will give us true, false, false. Actually, this gives the boolean whether this row is first or not. In the same way, you can also check last. Use let only one time, and if you want to use multiple implicit objects, so use let only one time. This is $last. This will give whether this is the last row or not. This one only, the third one is the last true. Okay. In the same way, we can get the odd and even, whether this row is odd or not. Suppose I am changing here for even e and even, and this is for odd e and odd. Okay, so by using $even, we get whether this row is even or not, or row number is even or not, and by odd we get whether this row is odd or row number is odd or not. We can check here. First one is true, second is false, again true. For the odd, first one is false, second one is true and false. Basically this checks for the index, whether that index is even or odd. You can check index is 0, so it's giving true, and false index is 1, then whether this is even or not, it's a false. In this way, $even and $odd is checking whether the index is even or odd. Okay, to check the count, write C is equal to $count. This will count the total number of elements in the array. $count C. There are three elements, okay, that is given. So in this way we can use the @for, and drag expressions should use unique identity, and implicit objects we can use index, even, odd, count, first, last, in this way. And if we are iterating our form array, we can use $index there, and let's see how to use @for with that. Suppose I have a form group, customer form, and it has a form array, item names. Three elements are there, three form controls are there in this item form array, and the name is item arrays. I have created a getter method for item names. Look, this is form array, and I have created the getter method customer form.get item names as form array. Now let's see how to use form array in our HTML template using @for. So the key is item names. So for the form array, use form array name, and then aside that control name in the form group. The name is control name is item names. So here item names. Now I have to iterate all the form controls inside this. So use the @for item of item names. We can get the controls, and this will give unique names. Okay, so we can call the item names dot controls, and then tag this item. Okay, and if you want the index, use $index. Now use the input and form control name and assign that index. This will create a form array using @for. You can see here, this is our form array, and here I am iterating it using @for loop. Okay, in this way we can use @for loop in our Angular application. Okay, thank you.